Check this out.
Look what we have here.
Don't get too close.
No, don't welcome me.
Go, Barbara, go!
Oh crap.
Let the show begin.
Fire it up.
Wind blade.
Oh, of course I was struck by lightning.
Check this out.
Let me pull up the stream. Oh, I need to stretch. I'm still feeling that 13-hour stream from yesterday. Whoo-wee. Let me pull up the stream and let's see what we're working with here. While I'm doing that,
Really did spend a lot recently.
claim that. Let's see. Alright. Alright, stream. What are we working with? Stream is now pulled up. And we're gonna have fun in Liyue. Oh god, it's James. James.
Only 10 more are left. Still, 10 more is better than no more.
Let's see. Look confused.
Don't get too close.
Fuck off.
Check this out.
Alright, I don't have to fight any of you. Okay. Oh, I got one of Storm Terror's lair to do. Let's do this one. Oh, my back itches. Oh, there we go. Oh, that feels good. Yep, needed it. Love it, want more of it.
Lovely weather we're having. Will you join me for a walk?
Yeah, man, let's enjoy a walk. Look at this dude.
Fire it up!
Windblade! Prepare to be blown away!
Ow, ow, fuck.
I'll protect us. Hi.
Don't get too close!
Steady as stone.
They thought they could reach me. Please. Next mission. It's an emergency! Oh, this guy. Bad. So bad.
Check this out!
Windblade! Time to clean up.
Fire it up!
Windblade!
Don't get too close!
Oh, I must leave no stone unturned.
Fire it up!
Easy. One more daily commission, and that's down here. Ooh, they popped my back.
Don't stay out in the rain for too long. You'll catch a cold.
Thanks, Barbara. I did it. I know that. I must go talk to Elon Musk. The female Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Wait, before I talk to him. Elon Musk. I'm gonna grab it. Alright, Elon. Oh, wait, there's a chest up here.
This is the kind of surprise I could sing about. Whoa!
What is happening? Am I getting attacked in a cutscene? I'm getting beat up in a cutscene.
Go!
Fuck
Go,
all
Barbara!
that. I was getting beat up in a cutscene.
Supporting fire! Check this out! Fire it up!
Steady as stone.
I didn't even disturb them. They attacked me off screen. That's fucked. I can't blame. I was an innocent bystander getting beat up off screen. What is this?
Add Astra. Add Astra. Thank you for complete. There's a strange wandering.
Time to do a summon. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. What are these characters? I will get you. That did not go up. Oh well, always the next day. Cause I get one summon a day, and I will get one summon a day. Oh well, let's continue some quest. Holy crap, my stream last night got 44 views already. It hasn't even been 12 hours. Oh, look, a chest I haven't gotten.
A little dusty. Best get... Leave it all to me. I'll catch up, as a good knight should. Look at it sparkle. Written down on this piece of paper. And they look really mad at us too.
Bro, dude.
Check this out.
Steady as stone. I'll catch up. Let's dance.
Don't get too close.
Not breaking a sweat.
I got you covered.
Ready, steady, go! Leave no stone unturned. Oh no!
No slacking off.
Windblade!
Can this be?
Ow, ow, ow!
Go, Barbara, go!
Let's not waste time.
Let the show begin.
Fire it up! Supporting fire!
No problem. Send this quickly.
Don't get too close!
Steady as stone, as a dutiful maid would. Come on, we can do it.
Waste time. Send this quickly.
I must leave no stone unturned.
Fire it up!
I'll protect us.
Let's send this quickly.
Check this out! Fire it up! Here's backup!
Let's send this quickly.
Let the show begin.
I guess this is it.
Is this an answer from this world?
There are so many talismans here. And some stacks of blank paper, too. Paimon's seen this pattern before. Oh, Paimon knows! It looks just like the sigil of permission the child gave you. But how did a relic of Yadette end up in the hands of someone like Child? Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Geo created the Sigil of Permission, it wasn't to be used as some old relic. Talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission in hopes of achieving a similar effect. Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew, that sounds pretty. And the plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure. Alright, that's enough sticking around here. We gotta go meet up with Zhongli soon. The last stop on our rite of parting preparations tour is Dihua Marsh. Let's go! Paimon hates being late.
Right on time. I myself only arrived moments ago. Did you enjoy your visit to the Jade Chamber?
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a fancy schmancy place before.
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very... Yeah, her take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. She thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh, so you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue...
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart. Though they are both members of the Qixing, although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, she has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No ordinary person could ever achieve that. It's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What?
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me. No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui. Always be on your guard.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting in Dihua Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild glaze lilies.
Glaze lilies? But why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in Yujing Terrace have some? Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to...
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is before the Archon War. Of course, there are some kind. Wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow... But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. No. I need you to sing to them. Singing.
So how good is your singing? Really? What?
We'll only know once she starts singing.
Whenever you're ready.
Da 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 da.
What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because he sang a song for Mondstadt that they don't understand here in Liyue? Steady as stone.
Windblade!
Fire it up! Don't get too close!
Leave it all to me.
Check this out!
Be gone! Windblade!
Fire it up!
I must leave no stone unturned. Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to...
Well, that's nice and all, but
Unfortunately,
that's so...
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey! It's... What's-her-face?
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name. Ah, that reminds me. How was your visit to the Jade Chamber?
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us how to get up there.
Didn't I tell you the way? Sure.
Nope, we found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Huh. Something seems... She's acting different from the first time.
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan.
You came all the way out here to see the flowers? Why not...
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry. We shouldn't have brought it up.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. Yes, now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first Seven. The other five, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. She is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago. The city has never had to bid farewell to its deity.
so what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality.
Huh? Did you just...
Yes, I am a mix of human and Qilin. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. I've continued those duties to this very day. Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that you are here looking for glaze lilies? I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found. See, I've just picked...
We dare not refuse it.
Oh, so did you sing a song before?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well. In fact, I sang a...
Wow, so you really know your stuff, too.
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, if you would excuse me, I should return to my work now. Good luck.
And that just about does it. Our preparations for the rite of parting are mostly finished. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our tasks. In more...
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a...
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort. So you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself. If left unchecked, the wear...
Wow. See? Jean... Alright, I think it's about time we head back...
Ah, you're the consultant to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times.
Desperate time?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet, but it's more like... However, both sides were quite obstinate.
It seems inevitable, given the...
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will...
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and...
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come...
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millilith must rein in the action. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us. Don't...
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Or neither path is an easy one.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently...
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Consider your next course of action carefully, Traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion...
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite the double-edged sword. So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon everyone gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city, he must be waiting for the moment when no one is. But where could we find him? Where would he go at a time like this?
Oh, my back. Oh shit, that's weird.
You always seem to be around to give me a hand.
Here, let me help you.
Wow! This is the Golden House? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if... Oh, so it's a trap! But even if we can't take any, or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora, it's like it... Oh, right! It's quiet. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon, quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all...
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here?
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly... Don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will... She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing... The time for discussion and diplomacy either way. We now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure. The battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for trouble, huh?
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of... When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a...
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I will... Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to Fighting talk, I love it! This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. Not bad, not bad.
Don't get too close!
Time. Run all you like. You've made some progress. Guess I should take you more seriously. Haha, good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger.
Let's dance.
All you do is run.
Don't be such a brute.
Fire it up! Crush you! Break!
You're in for a little shock.
Something else catch your eye?
Wingblade!
Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exodia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now! I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
This is going to cost you! You got to the Gnosis ahead of me. me on purpose. No matter. Hand the gnosis over, now! Don't make me take it from you.
We didn't take it!
Don't get too close!
Go for...
Here's Becca!
Ready, steady, go! Go, Barbara, go! Prepare to be blown away!
Die here. Fire it up! Check this out! Fire it up!
You're a cut above.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my and now that I consider the matter more carefully, you had no connection to the Gnosis.
That's what we've been trying to
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? I can see, but if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend, even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia...
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce...
Good plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this, for the weak will be... The truth is, the world belongs to those who pursue strength. I seldom will... Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children...
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the GR Archon in the Archon War. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago.
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a with the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo Archon to show its hand, but you... Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? Exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, did we make it in time? Is the over...
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have a...
Oh, Paimon gets it. Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy. Even from...
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be...
We've already discussed this together, and our...
What? Wait, all of you are...
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it... And as fate would have it, one who did craft the For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms?
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here, we haven't a moment to spare. Our... Yep.
I gotta fight. Oh, fuck.
The 3 Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work.
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go help too!
We Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
Windblade!
Fire! Enemies are spotted.
Yeah!
What is?
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
But the damn boss is like stuck out of fucking battle.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How daring. Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Fire it up!
Stay right there. This quickly.
The ancient gods attacking again! There are so many fatigued too! We can't look!
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children?
Huh?
Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is adeptal energy! That light from your body, it's like the tiny giant cars! Wow! It's Madame Ping's shockwave! This granny's really strong!
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil! Cast your fear of injury by the wayside, and fight with all your might! I too did this during the Archon War!
So this is what Ganyu's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Look at me. Just...
Windblade!
Not breaking a sweat. No excuse for stopping my work. Finished.
Exercise caution! I fear that the god's power has reached its peak!
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Try not to enjoy this too much.
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Did we do it? That was epic. Where the hell was this type of cutscenes earlier on? Man, I was sleeping on Genshin.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came?
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued expansion, it has become the palace that lies before you now. It is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebears, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks to the Adepti. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. Everyone was there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and loads of things that make the harbor so pretty. Thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please come visit us for the next lantern rite.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Aww.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but we're forgetting one thing. Child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure Rex Lapis out. But we were able to handle the Overlord of the Vortex on our own. So Rex Lapis never showed up. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death too? Hyman doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adeptiless Rite of Parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhang Li's gone. Let's ask for...
That was crazy.
I am at Wangshen Funeral Parlor.
That whole fight scene was amazing. Liyue, gonna get down on Liyue. Gotta stay quiet.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng funeral parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhongli. Could you please tell him we're here?
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment. It seems he went to Northland Bank.
Doesn't the Northland Bank belong to the Fatui? Last time we saw Zhongli was before we went to the Golden House. Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could only mean more trouble. We had better go and make sure that everything is okay.
I have a prediction as to who's going to win. I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to keep that to the chest.
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child. And...
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the City of Bards, was it? I'm glad you still remember my name. Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious was snatched away from your friend.
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but that's up to you. The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait! That's an exciting twist!
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that was bound to boil over. That's what he wanted to see, am I right?
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. It is now 3,700 years ago that I founded Liyue, together with the Adepti. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard... I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself.
Oh, Zhongli.
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long. So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. Indeed I was. The Gnosis which I had kept for so many years suddenly... That's right. Which is why I continued...
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use...
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their...
In the end, the resolution to all that has Take the Adepti, for instance. Owing to their years of seclusion, they were the least informed. Yet when faced with a credit is also due to Signora, the emissary dispatched by the Cryo Archon to fulfill our contract. At my request, she kept everything she knew in strict confidence.
Hi.
This, despite the eavesdropping ears of her
Hello,
colleague,
Anthony.
Child. This meant I could remain as Zhongli, even having the chance to fulfill the age-old traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for joining me on this journey, traveler. All of these things turned out as I had planned. There is only one thing that I had not anticipated, and that was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said and done, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue as divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
Huh? That doesn't sound good at all.
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo Archon, Liyue, would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair trade.
Realistically speaking.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. My agreement with the Cryo Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo Archon. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
We went through all that and they still got the thing right. What the hell? We will protect this city. Oh yeah, you can have a Gnosis. Here you go. Like, come on. I knew he was right about this. The signs were all there.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Wait, does this mean I'll be done with Liyue? Just like Mondstadt stories?
One Wing Bookhouse. Guess this is where we go to buy books in Liyue. Should we?
Feel free to look around. There's no obligation.
We're looking for the Liyue volume of the Teyvat travel guide.
Sorry, dear. We stopped stocking that a very long...
But the Mondstadt volume...
The thing is, the author made it too personal, and the result, it barely sold any copies. And the few travelers that did buy...
Well, that's a shame. The Mondstadt volume...
The fact remains that I don't have it in stock. If you must read...
Who's Cheng the Ninth?
A book collector who lives in Qingce Village. He was a regular customer here back when he lived in...
Did somebody say out-of-print books? Is there a chance that Volume 6 of Legend of the Shattered Halberd is also in his collection? Apologies, my liege. Where are my manners? My name is Sing Cho, a humble literature enthusiast who happened to be passing by. Since you and I are both in search of lost books, what say we travel together to Mount Qingce and pay a visit to Cheng the Ninth? My pleasure, fellow book lovers.
So, are you buying or not?
Alright, y'all do you. I have a thing to do.
Is this an answer from this world?
Take some of these plays, please.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god might have been one and the same?
Now that you mention it, that's very possible. Yes, it's very possible indeed. I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Still, what sort of...
Ah, forget it.
Oh, well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I get...
So Rex Lapis is really...
Oh, come on. There's only one real possibility.
Fatui?
Shh! Lower your...
Hear ye all! The chief, though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common knowledge. Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. So too must they face divinely appointed trials. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis was murdered. Now, let the truth be revealed. Having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not, and to let not their hearts be saddened. Nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how they're spinning it. Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Not to mention how... Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his no... Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting has been going on for a while now.
Yeah, let's go look. I mean, we went through all the trouble of setting this stuff up.
Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are there speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa.
Dot.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
And to think I'd put my best perfume on before coming here,
Built up
thinking
just
you'd
to have her
like
talk.
it. But it seems as if those perfumes really were meant to be offered to Rex Lapis. Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals in love, they say. And that's 3 gone in 1 stroke.
Rex Lapis. Oh, Rex Lapis. Now that I think about it, if everyone's of the same mind as me, perhaps mementos for Rex Lapis might be...
Roping you in was possibly the most masterful move we could have made. I believe that future generations will say so too when our deeds come up for their review.
Fell in water. Hi, Brady. Do you want to see my dog?
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this! Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never see Rex Lapis again. And here you are looking all relaxed.
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Liyue kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Liyue kiosk.
You're right. I do lack the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should... When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at butt since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to. You had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meet.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is... Yes, the nation has been closed by order of its deity, the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before.
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of Inazuma, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Tibet see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating...
Vision hunt?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of the statue of the omnipresent god.
They want to seize visions. But why?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to... The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods. And of these... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then, I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation.
Woo, my first gold trophy! A new star approaches! I can never come on. Fuck Liyue. It wasn't that long of a quest line. Let's see what we got. Finally, I can get this done. Holy crap. I need to use the restroom. 1 second. Alright, stream, I am back. Alright, so we need to do this.
While the Millilith stands guard.
Oh, we got a lot of side quests we could do here.
Ah, children, come, come. You've arrived at just the right moment. I've been looking for you.
Oh, what is it, Granny? Need any help?
Oh, no. You've done so much for Liyue Harbor already. I could hardly ask for more. In fact, my old friends and I have been putting our heads together.
A gift? For Paimon?
Oh, child, you are so very modest. Uncommonly so, even. But when you traversed my old teapot in search of the cleansing bell, I heard your little friend mention that you often camp out in the wilds. That simply won't do. Especially since I imagine you still have a very long journey ahead of you. Fortunately, I have not yet grown so old as to see myself. Oh, did my friends never mention that to you? Well then, it is a blessing we old folks once received. I will not go into too much detail, but subspace, the teapot that you entered previously, was a little trinket created using that ability.
So, in the eyes of an Adeptus, creating a magic teapot world is just child's play, huh?
Oh, indeed, the teapot is nothing to boast of. One such as myself must depart from this realm to create a world of one's own. Rex Lapis, on the other hand, moved mountains and seas. But that's enough nostalgia for now. The gift that I have
That's right! Finding stuff's what we're good at, after all.
Oh, settle down now, children. There's no need for you to go running. What's more, I doubt that you would know how to find the materials. Well, for starters, I require some shimmer soil from the banks of Dihua Marsh. You would have to dig downward, following the roots of the glazed lilies, but almost no one has been able to find shimmer soil. Even more difficult to find is smaragdus jadeite, which must be chiseled from the rock of the chasm. Or so it used to be. Ever since the Blackcliff Forge opened for business, they've slowly but surely stripped the mines all but completely bare of it. In any case, smaragdus jadeite is an adepti treasure, and the adeptal power within is not something that most humans can withstand. Extended contact with it is, in fact, harmful to humans. Goodness knows if that child will succeed in finding these items.
Well, since you're an Adeptus, Granny, the person you asked for help, they must be an Adeptus too, right?
Yes. I suppose she does count as an Adeptus.
I'm gonna get done.
She counts? How come there are so many Adepti in Liyue Harbor? We seem to bump into them all the time. It feels like even when you go out to eat, you could be sitting next to an Adeptus and never even know it.
Oh, maybe so. Who can say? A fair few of my old friends are rather fond of mundane mortal life, after all.
I'm back, Granny.
Okay, so that was
Oh, I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to do the honors. This
Okay.
child here is Yen Fei. She's the one helping run some errands for me. Yen Fei, I believe you've already heard of the Traveler and her traveling companion.
Of course, who hasn't? Much has been written about you in the Millilith's records. You became one of Liyue's most wanted after the Millilith marked you as a suspect following the incident at the Rite of Dissension. After which, you fought off the Millelith at Julian Karst and made contact with the Fatui, before finally defeating an ancient god together with Granny and her associates, and subsequently being cleared of any and all suspicion by the Chiseng. What a shame. A shame that we didn't meet sooner. If we had, well, I can't say that I would have been able to clear you of suspicion immediately, but it certainly would have been less, embarrassing for you. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Yenfei, a legal advisor. Got a legal problem? You can come right to me.
Lawyer.
Oh, yes. Here's my business card.
Lawyer.
You'll find it has my contact details and office address. Keep it handy. If you have an urgent
Lawyer.
issue, just leave me a note at this address. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, I offer a very generous discount for first-time customers.
Lawyer with ADHD.
All right, Yenfei, all right. Let's get to the business at hand. I do not think these two are in any dire need of legal assistance at the moment. You'll have to excuse Yenfei. She's always been like this, ever the talkative one when it comes to her own affairs.
Paimon was gonna ask the same question.
An Adeptus? I guess. Kinda. My old man said he was one anyway. He mentioned that he once campaigned with Rex Lapis for a long old time, and then after that was all over, he went back and married my mom. They had me, and once I was all grown up, the two of them upped and left on a journey, leaving me with Granny here.
Well, that's a bit casual for an Adeptus. Aren't you guys supposed to sign solemn contracts to protect Liyue Harbor and all that?
Well, my dad did say that he'd talked it through with Rex Lapis, and that he was fine with it. Even contributed towards the wedding gift, apparently. Anyway, let's not dwell on that too much. So, Granny, I've gotten a hold of most of the stuff you asked for, except for Smaragdus Jadeite. The chasm's been sealed off, and there's just no way in. Couldn't secure any documentation either. Looks like the Ministry of Civil Affairs is serious about keeping it strictly locked down.
Is that so? Yenfei, are you sure you can't find some other way? They have helped Liyue greatly, after all.
I know, Granny, you've told me 1,000 times already. Well, the chasm's definitely a no-go. But, hold on a moment.
Whoa, that's a really thick book.
Commercial consultancy. Or, Snezhnaya? Ah, found him. Krusel. A Snezhnayan merchant who once came to me with some legal queries on certain articles in the legal codices. If my memory serves, all of them had to do with rare ore. He mentioned that he was considering acquiring some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins, and wanted to know if there were any legal ramifications that he should be aware of. Said he was planning to sell them in Snezhnaya. So, I guess I'll go look for him. With any luck, he'll have gotten his hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite, or might have an idea of where we can find some. Oh, you want to join me? I suppose that's no problem, but it's best if you just stand by and watch. If you try to get involved, you'll only risk placing yourself in legal jeopardy.
Wow, an Adeptus imploring us to avoid incurring legal liability. Well, that's a first for sure. Best we be a little more careful than usual while we're with her.
Okay. A teapot to call home. Interesting. What do I get for doing this? A teapot. A workshop. Uh-huh. Oh, so I can do it in my own little home. Creation. Fruit stand. Oh. Okay. Where do I go? No. Oh. That's not far at all. Whee. Put on auto.
Hello, Mr. Crossell. How's business been?
Oh, good. Very good. All thanks to your advice, Miss Yanfei. What brings you here today?
You're too kind. I was simply doing my job. Now, I believe that the last time we met, you mentioned that you were looking to source some Smaragdus Jadeite to make hairpins. Have there been any further developments on this front?
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, in the end, I did acquire a small piece of Smaragdus Jadeite and had it fashioned into a pair of hairpins. Miss Yanfei, might I presume that you have an interest in the hairpins? I must apologize. I've already rented them out to a lady named Zhiqiao. If you'd like to inspect them, you may have to wait quite some time.
Wait, isn't Smaragdus Jadeite really rare? Aren't you worried about the hairpins getting damaged or lost while they're being rented out?
No, I'm not worried in the slightest, because I signed a contract with Miss Zhiqiao before renting them to her. The contract makes it quite clear that if she loses or damages the item in question, she must compensate me for its full original value. In return, I included a clause that guarantees the Smaragdus Jadeite is genuine, with a penalty of 10 times the item's value payable by me to Miss Zhiqiao in the event that it is shown to be a fake.
Guaranteed genuine, with 10 times the value payable if this claim is shown to be false. Yes, these terms are very clear indeed.
Of course. This way, both the client and I have the assurance we need. To ensure fairness, each of us has retained an original copy of the contract.
In that case, might you know where Miss Zhiqiao lives? We'd like to pay her a visit and have a look at the hairpins.
Oh, of course. She wrote her address down when we signed our contract. Here, I'll mark it on your map for you.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Crossell. We'll be off now.
Talk about protecting identity. Contract.
You can't beat the atmosphere here.
She lives that far. She like walked down the steps, got a hairpin, walked back up the stairs. Alright, I'm home. That's fair.
Liyue Pavilion. Best Lee food in town.
Hello, children. Where's that children? Hey! I need your hairpin! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Oh, whatever shall I do? Yes, that's me. Is there something I can help you with?
How do you do, Miss Zhiqiao? We understand from Mr. Crossell that you recently rented a pair of hairpins from him. My associates and I are very interested in them. Would you mind letting us take a look at them?
The hairpins? I don't know how it could have happened. I always kept them right by my side, and I hadn't even worn them yet. I spent so much money on them. If I have to pay their original value, there's no way I could come up with that amount of money on such... My family is in the ore business too, but business has been suffering ever... We now have a backlog of paid-up orders just sitting around, so we've been having to purchase some stock from other ore merchants to complete them. A big banquet is coming up in a few days, and several ore merchants I know of will be there. I need this opportunity to mingle and discuss prices. That's what the hairpins were for, to keep up appearances. But now that I've lost the hairpins...
Why does Paimon have a sudden strong sense of déjà vu?
Would you really? I sent a
Hold on. Don't run off looking for the hairpins just yet. Miss Zhiqiao.
Huh? Well, I mean...
Let me see.
That's right! Yanfei said she's a legal advisor, didn't she? True.
Right. I finished reading the contract. The terms are very clear, and they do indeed stipulate that you Furthermore, the contract also expressly states that the amount of compensation must take current market price, and given the rarity of Smaragdus Jadeite, I fear that the final amount of...
Even higher? Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
However, all of this is assuming that it is indeed genuine Smaragdus Jadeite that was inlaid in...
Did you really have to pause before saying that part? Anyway, the hairpins are lost, so whichever way you look at it,
Except that if we found the hairpins, there'd no longer be any need to check whether the Jadeite is...
seems...
Please. Please, Don't trouble yourselves over this. However much it is, I will have to pay it. My family are merchants, after all. Now that it's come to this, I really shouldn't...
Yes, legally speaking, it seems this is the most sensible course of action. So hold on a moment, Mr. Chow. When you first...
What did I feel? Well, I remember that the gemstones set into the pins were... My family has seen much jade pass through its hands in the past.
Smooth to the touch. No, it's nothing. I just need to re-examine a few things.
There is a lot of... Oh!
Ah, Miss Yanfei, you've returned. With Miss Jiqiao in tow, too, I see. How are the hairpins? I trust you're quite satisfied with them?
About that.
You lost them? Are you serious?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Truly, I am.
Mora! Do you have any idea what I had to go through to get... I just don't... Forget it. Talking won't bring them back. Since Miss Yanfei is here, I suppose...
No problem. But before I can give an official estimate, I'll need to do a little market research. It was in fact genuine smaragd...
Of course! Genuine article guaranteed, or I pay...
All right, understood. I'll conduct some market research, and once I'm back, I'll provide an official assessment of the sum owed by Mr. Chow in compensation.
Thank you very much. How could she lose my hairpins? She'd better pay every last mora that they're worth.
Looks like I'll have to find some way to raise that money.
Please wait, Mr. Chow. I have some... It's not convenient to speak here, so let's find somewhere that we can sit and talk and...
I should open
this. How about this fucking hairpin?
Should I try this time? Oh there. Come and see these rare and precious...
Miss Yanfei, what is this about?
No. What I wanted to talk about is, there is a chance that the Orin laid on those hairpins...
What do you mean? Are you in...
Obviously not. I'm no adventurer, let alone a member of the guild. I don't know if Granny told you this, but Smaragdus jadeite is found deep underground, and if mere mortals come into contact with it, well, they'll be sick in the best case. And in the worst case, they could even experience a dramatic change of personality. Mr. Chow, did you at any time feel unwell?
No, not at all. I felt perfectly fine the whole time. Not even the slightest bit unwell. I didn't feel anything special at all, in fact.
Now that is strange. I noticed earlier, if I've deduced correctly, he may still have the Smaragdus jadeite in his possession.
If that's the case, we should go confront him.
Absolutely not. If we were to confront him now, there's no way he would admit to it. And then, he'd throw the Smaragdus jadeite into the sea the moment we were gone. After that, he would simply insist that Mr. Chow pay up per the contract. Meanwhile, we would have to look under every stone in Liyue, hoping and praying that the hairpins do actually still exist somewhere in this world.
So vivid that Paimon thinks it might be experience talking.
Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this, and brute force methods are certainly one way of resolving them. Fortunately, I have far more elegant solutions at my disposal. I'll share them with you in due course.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like this, perhaps you could help me, Miss Yanfei.
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first, Mr. Chow, can I ask you to please sign this contract?
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for everything? It feels like Yanfei is even more concerned with them than a...
These are my formal terms of engagement. Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, And you were commissioned but not bound by a...
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this...
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay, and I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages!
Alright, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask.
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their... But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go... I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly...
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Surely not more spurious claims that...
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnayan merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently?
A Snezhnayan merchant... I do remember that. He brought me... That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought.
Do you have any...
Why, yes. It was...
Thank you, sir. We'll take...
Huh? If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross... Yes. It's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation.
If you must see for yourself, try examining...
Is that so? So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao is able to tell...
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, and, I'm sure, a significant difference in the
All right, let's focus up.
But, never mind, Shirto. Why would Miss...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them.
Try your luck betting on Jade? Miss Yenfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
just confirm for me once more, sir? Mr.
Yes, that's right.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the process?
Of course.
Oh, I have my reasons. This document shall serve as signed proof.
Yes, I see. Forgive.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue.
With this hard evidence to back us up?
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to... If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry... Aha! Got it! Sinxi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, but the amendments made by... As such...
So you help them make sense of the law?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle, because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again, with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Crossel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yeah, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and
doesn't seem like there's any evidence.
Miss Sinxi, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more.
Yes, I'm sure of it. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with... I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself. The inlaid gemstone is...
Thank you, Sinxi.
Sure. It isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that...
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement once we have this final piece of evidence in our hand.
Join the Adventurers Guild.
Show me your prescription.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's out gathering herbs. And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well, now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here, might I inquire? Some charlatans peddling ineffectual medicines again, no doubt?
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information about it included in the 6th commentary on the 7 Mountain Treatises. The 7 Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone. It is abundant in... Anyway, I suppose that...
That is indeed the case.
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of remarkable disappointment. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if you're pressing...
You needn't concern yourself.
You're too kind.
That Baiju guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Ooh, which means he's gonna have to pay 10 times the amount. Oh, he's I just went to the wrong person.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded.
Wonderful. Well then.
Of course. Mr. Crossell, you must pay
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her?
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that... Now, the contract states...
Material evidence? What material evidence? I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus...
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How... In any case...
That's an unsubstantiated...
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we all...
Ugh. Looks like our first... Hard evidence. Something legally binding. We have just the thing.
This document proves that my hairpins are...
Our second piece of evidence didn't work.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps...
Of course I'm right. All the evidence...
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one... Traveler, would you do the honors?
What?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to... Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic... Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that... However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say... Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the... I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's danger...
Huh? No,
Aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that... You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means... Mr. Crossell, your answer...
He's seriously intimidating right now.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was... But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and... But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Zhiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crosel looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow,
20%? That's as much as I...
There's no need. It's fine. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them.
Ms. Chow.
However, Mr. Crosel, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite...
What? But I... All right.
Miss Yenfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that it...
Well, that's not quite how the rules say that...
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss...
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crosel come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crosel, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so?
Actually, Mr. Crosel, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus jadeite that Granny wants too.
Exactly.
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? In which case, you would have heard what Granny said. Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely disagree with your reasoning.
Well, since we got what we came for...
Bebop, go home. Bebop, 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 bebop. I've always wanted to go to Liyue.
You've returned. Good.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the office.
Oh, you? All right, then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to handle the rest.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regular...
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps...
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to... Indeed she is. Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is... All right, then. Let us speak of this.
Oh, Paimon's so excited!
It is but a single teapot. There we go. This Serenity Pot is all yours now. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make...
Wait a minute, Granny!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await...
Whoops. Accidentally clicked away. So, it's a gadget, right? I want an island. Oh my god, oh god, ah!
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger, huh? But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Still, what? Oh, wait a second. What is that?
Well, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me Tubby.
So you're the little...
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. You may leave all matters regarding the... Your journey may be far from over. But at least this, though it is the adept, thus, you may consider me a butler. If now, allow me, have you any blueprints on you? As long as you have a blueprint, you can...
Blueprints?
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking. Just commit the image of the object, then simply
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this. He said that even though subspace, this world is not a true one after all.
A golden-eyed adeptus?
I hardly remember myself. Well, let's not dwell on that. If there's anything you would like... Maybe you're not used to...
If you ever have any questions...
How do I build? Oh.
Maybe you...
If you ever have... Hi there. Oh, seeing you so full of life. Oh, the scenery here is so different from and here I can sing at the top of my voice without having to worry if I'm... Oh, it sure is nice of you to... Anyway, I think...
Maybe you...
If you ever have any...
Blah, blah, blah.
Maybe you're not. If you ever have any...
I'm gonna end the stream for now. I'm gonna do one later.